Let's be honest. Would you date you? On today's episode, I'm joined with Matt Tompkins from Two Brothers Creative and Scott Voorhees from 1110 KFAB. Well, we find out if you would swipe right on you. Would you date you, Matt?
No. So I actually did this book. It's called Do This, Don't Do That. It's a book on dating, and it's like a guided journal, and you read all about these things you're supposed to do and not do. And one of the things is you're supposed to like describe like your perfect partner, and then it says like you need to find the one. I'm like, yeah, I do. And they're like, but you actually need to find the one it's actually you. And so it's like he flips it around like, well, are you the one for you? Like, would you be the one based on your qualifications you just wrote down? And I failed miserably. I mean, it was like all the things I wrote down I wanted from somebody else, but then if I were to flip it around and say, do I do those same things for myself? And it was a no. So
seriously,
I don't think I would. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess you're your own harshest critic.
Of course.
So I mean, maybe I have some redeeming qualities, but yeah, I don't know.
Is this the part where we jump in and
I was going to say, were we
supposed to say, help me out here.
Cue?
Help me out, because I don't want to.
Is that our cue?
I'm sort of just saying, no, Matt, you're great. You're so smart and funny.
I'm just surprised that it was such a mismatch, because you are incredibly caring and attentive. In a pal way, in a friend way, for sure. I'm surprised that you wouldn't actually give that to someone.
Actually, you know what? I think it's just the people I've chosen to date. Maybe that's the issue.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Super fun, never a dull moment, and he can get as serious as you need him to get when it comes to that. He's the total package. He doesn't have a total package, but he is, other than that, the total package.
What about you?
Would I, swipe on me for that? No, I would not be able to come across well on like a dating profile. It's like, hey, do you like someone who looks kind of like your grandpa? Then how about this picture of this guy? He started going gray when he was 20. He's fully gray now. Here's Scott. That's not going to work. But if I can like get you on a desert island and break you down over a series of 18 or 19 weeks, I think that I might be able to hold your hand.
Okay, that's more Criminal Minds or serial killer direction.
This is what I've had to do my entire life just to get some attention.
Do you not remember Richard Gere? Silver Fox?
Yes, and do I look like Richard Gere? My eyes are too big. I gotta do this.
Yeah. Squint.
Yeah, you got to kind of do the
she's right.
smile.
She's right though. Like, so once you go gray, you don't age. Look, Anderson Cooper, like he's like 92 years old. Like he's just been doing it forever. It looks exactly the same.
He's also gotten work.
You missed out on the opportunity. You should have done a little research when you were like, I don't know how long you and your wife have been together, but like when you were in your 20s, you looked like, because when I met him, he was like in his early 30s, and I'm like, no way. Like this guy's got gray hair. He looks like
I've looked like this since high school.
Yeah, sugar babies. There's a thing called sugar babies. Like
there is.
They are into hot women in their 20s into older men, and you missed. I mean, you still could go after it. I don't know how much your wife would approve, but like back when you were dating, you should have gone for it.
I think my wife would approve because she'd like to see me try. Like, I can't make that woman jealous. I used to work with the Miss USA pageant. I would be in a hotel with 200 women in Oklahoma, and I'd tell my wife, I was like, I'm here in Norman. I've got 200, really cute girls here, and well, I'm sure one of them's going to come knocking on my hotel room door any minute now. And she's like, I'm sure they will, Scott. You have a great night. Can't make her jealous.
That's not how you make a woman jealous. You have to be vague, and you have to what are you doing? And you don't tell them what you're doing. You deflect, and you say, how's your day? And then it's the mind. They start overthinking. If you lay it out like that, they're going to think you're making it up.
She once called me and said, what are you doing right now? I said, I'm cheating on you because I didn't want her to know I was golfing again. And she goes, you're golfing, aren't you? Like, no.
See?
Swear I'm cheating on you.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, though. It works just about golfing. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Upfront and honest is always the best remedy, actually. But
that's a terrible idea.
Terrible idea. No. Or find someone that can accept that, can tolerate that.
People say they want upfront, honest, and all those things. Communication, they don't really want those things.
Why do you say that?
Because in my experience, when you're upfront, honest, and communicate. Now, granted, there's like, maybe that's the relationship part. Like you get those things, they want those things. But in the beginning, there's like a 2-month period, right? 8-week period where it's like this game. It's a game you have to play. And if you are all those things you just described, you will fail at this game. You will not have any mate whatsoever when it comes to
Okay, now is that a man thing or a woman thing? Because what you just described to me is that you pretend to be someone else for 2 months in the beginning of a relationship.
But no,
and then
like,
you
I'm saying
bait.
when I
Doesn't
am my
everyone?
actual, yes, that's what I'm saying. When I'm my actual self, it's like so women want these things. Like they want a man who is dominant. I don't mean like in the obscene way, but like, who's strong,
manly,
who's confident, masculine, that is sexual, sensual. But the things they convey are like, I want a man who listens, who's empathetic and nice and kind. And so like you have to display all of these things in those first 8 weeks, and you have to do it in kind of a strategic way, or you're just not going to have any luck dating. I mean, that's been my experience has been when you are actually open, honest, and communicate right out of the gate. It's not really, it's like becomes this weird turnoff of some kind.
You're needy and you're the nice
Yes,
guy, and this guy can't protect me if I'm mugged.
Kill Mr. Nice Guy is the very first thing any single man should do.
I think a relationship works well when you've got balance. When he's down, she's up, vice versa. You can tell when the other person needs some assistance. Like, you know what? I can tell that you need a glass of wine and some time away from the kids right now. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to get you a glass of wine, red or white. Red, got it. Here's a little Chardonnay, or that's a white wine. I don't know. Merlot. Here's a little Merlot for you right here. Just go right from the bottle. That's fine. I'm going to get the kids out of here until what? Till Tuesday? How long do you need? And she does that for me. I do that for her. It's balanced. By the way, 24 years. How long I've been with my wife.
24 years, wow.
Since we started dating, yeah.
And there's a reason, because you just described the number one way to have sex with your wife, which is pay attention to her needs, take the kids out, ease her stress, make her feel better, and then she can actually think about doing anything else.
It's funny. I just described a situation where I'm leaving the house, and she's like, "That's the number one way your wife's going to get sex." Like, if you and the kids leave, then your wife is going to be satisfied.
Because it's weird. I don't know how many times
I didn't say with you. But
I know.
I don't know how many times I've gone over to your house for like a week with a bottle of wine, and it's just as great. So you're 100%. Yes.
That's fine. I'm just happy everyone's happy.
We had talked about confidence. I just had a conversation with my husband about the nice guy syndrome. Have you guys heard of red pill, nice guy, incel, all of that?
No, I've not heard of this. But tell me about this.
Has the phrase come out of your mouth, nice guys finish last?
Yes.
That girls like bad boys, that we like, rule breakers, all of that kind of thing.
I spent most of my life in the friend zone. So yes, this is hitting too close to home.
Yeah, it did for my husband too. And when I explained it, because he listens to you quite a bit, and he was kind of saying the same thing. And I said, hun, it's not bad guys or nice guys, it's confidence.
Yes.
It's 100% confidence, because he is the nice guy, but he picked me up with a line with, I don't care if you have a boyfriend, you're gorgeous. What are you drinking? I was like, well, in that case, Grey Goose, and my friend will have this, and she'll have that, and everything else. But
that's how you won me over.
It's confidence.
And I'm terrified to say that to anyone.
Right?
Yeah.
But you would do it anyway. Maybe.
I like to see Scott try to do that to his own wife.
The girl I'm married to, she had to come after me.
Do tell.
She called into the radio show and suggested a giveaway date for Valentine's Day. And I figured she was probably some psychopotamus. So, because I'd fallen for that one before.
Proper term.
I think so, yes.
Psychopotamus.
Medical term.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
And so I was like, hey, that was funny. If you ever in the neighborhood of the station stop by, we'll give you a t-shirt. And she came by and she wasn't nearly as hideous as I thought she'd be. Isn't that a sweet thing to say? Yeah. And so we got married the next day.
Scott married a groupie.
Yeah. All right, we got married a year and a half later, but
I love
next day
it.
sounds like a better story.
I love it. You married a groupie, and she was amazing.
Yes, she still is amazing.
She still is amazing. That's wonderful.
You got lucky with the draw there, I think, on the listener, because I don't remember any.
No, it had not always worked out like that.
You took the one. It was there for all the radio people. You took the one. You just deprived all of us. But you're bringing up a great point. I actually learned this. This is embarrassing to admit, but I went through like an online dating course thing. You have to relearn this to me. These guys were atrocious douchebags. I mean, they misogynistic, just horrible. Oh yeah, horrible. However, the psychology behind it,
effective communication.
That's how you say the word. Is sound, and it makes sense, because if you think about confidence, what is it that is wired into our DNA when we're dating and we're trying to find a mate, a partner? The the survival of me, myself. Is this person going to protect me?
Yep.
Are they going to survive? Are their offspring going to survive? What traits are we going to pass on together to our offspring so that they survive, and so on and so on? It's still hardwired into us.
Yep.
And yes, the world has gone digital and everything is different now in the ways you're going to communicate or show your confidence. But if you don't have confidence in what you do, you are not going to come across as an appealing mate, from a woman's perspective. Like, you're just not.
Are you going to jump in and stop this?
No, actually, he's pretty right.
At any point, you were looking at this guy that you ended up marrying and thinking, I wonder if our children would survive in the wild.
That's the subconscious
It's the
thoughts going through your minds. Yes.
Now you're going to let him tell you what you're thinking? See,
Yes.
this runs contrary to everything I believe.
So, I mean, it's the subconscious, who is going to further the line. I mean, I don't have children by choice, so that wasn't my particular thing, but it was more that if the shit hits the fan, are you going to be able to back me up? Are you going to be next to me fighting this with me, or am I going to have to protect you?
Yeah.
Because I tend to be the strong one in my partnerships, and so
I am shocked.
yeah, shocked, right? It's just not on my face at all. And so I needed somebody that could take care of me. I mean, strong women, that's something we face all the time, is that everybody thinks, oh, well, they got it, they're independent, they can handle it, but then we don't get attracted to that person.
My wife, has this conversation ever taken place where a guy comes home and the wife says, I'm thinking that we need to repaint the bathroom. And the guy says, I don't know, I think it looks fine the way it is. And she says, oh, you're right. Okay, never mind. Has that conversation ever ended that way?
No.
Or does it just go with him then painting the bathroom or whatever? So I'm doing that. My wife is usually the one. She's like, why don't you go and make us a salad, and I'll be out here, I don't know, changing all the tires, rotating the tires in the car. She is definitely her father's daughter. She is so great with all that stuff. I try and keep up. So you're wondering, why does she have me around? Because she's short, she's diminutive, she's fun size, she's approximately this tall. She can't reach things on the top shelf or the top of various cupboards. That's where I come in.
Of
and
course.
that's why I'm
You
here.
help
Has nothing to
protect
do
her.
with anything you said. It's
Confidence.
just being
It's all
tall.
If you said, what makes me attracted to a person? And you could say, okay, I got my type. Like, most guys are gonna be like, oh, I hate this term. This is not my language, but this is what they say. Oh, I'm an ass man, or I like boobs, or whatever, legs. I'm a leg man. They describe it like they're talking like a
Only
KFC
part
dinner
of the show
plate.
anyone ever sees.
Yes, I hope that's the only clip that stands out. But those phrases, that's how men talk, right? And but if we look, okay, there are physical traits that we find attractive, but I've thought about it, like some of the admittedly crazy different types of individuals I've been attracted to over the years. I would say there isn't like a common theme of like they're all this. Like they're different races, they're different. There's certain physical traits that kind of are consistent. But I'm like, why am I attracted? And then I had this like breakthrough where I like was because I kind of like to just dick around on like social media on the dating apps because I find them very entertaining. What people think is like a good image to put forth in a description, and so going through there and like I found like man, there's like a theme of like me being oddly attracted to just mean women. And I started thinking like, why is the mean? And it's the same thing you mentioned with the badass, the bad boy. Women aren't attracted to him because he's an asshole. They're attracted to him because he's confident. He's just confident at being an asshole. And so what I was attracted to is not a mean person, but just somebody who is confident in who they are. So it's the confidence that is key. That's the consistent thing that we are attracted to. And I think your case proves that. Like you don't need a guy to like do something for you in that sense. Like, but you are attracted to the confidence that he brought to the table. And even Scott, with you, I would say you have the confidence to reach for that tall glass. And
Actually,
so does your wife.
I would 100% agree because confidence comes in different ways. I mean, like I said, both of you guys are very confident. You would think that I'm very confident as well. I think you go mean because you put too much emphasis on the confidence because yes, I'm confident. I'm absolutely insecure in a lot of different ways. I still need reassurance. We're still ooey and gooey inside, even if we're strong as hell. So I think it's looking past that and seeing the exact type of confidence or what is it? It's because they walk tall. They can approach anyone. They can talk. They can, they probably have a career or a drive of some kind. So it's just seeing
that's
how
the thing.
that.
So I looked at like the last 5 or 6 women that I had like talked to, and I'm like, there wasn't really consistency. Like one was a super successful entrepreneur that was like businesswoman, like, you know, the business suit and the heels and yada yada. And then another person, she's like she turned out to be a sex worker. Like she worked in the sex industry. That's I found out later after the fact. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of a
dominatrixes. Yeah,
I was going to say we have a different.
Put the ball in your mouth and shut up.
I was looking at all of these different like women. I'm like, what is the theme? There's no commonality here.
There is a commonality.
Apparently.
I'm calling bull crap on all this. You're like, I like women who are mean. Probably you find them hot, and
That's
you're
the
just
thing.
willing
confident.
to. You're willing to put up with more. The more attractive she is.
But some are like, some are white and blonde. Others are like African American, or it's
different
like
species.
Yeah. I mean, so some are green, some are lizard people,
Some are plastic.
You know? I mean, but like the theme is like the other things. There's two themes. One was on the exterior, they exuded the confidence through the meanness. On the interior, though, behind the scenes, they're a total shit show. Just a total mess, usually related to like trauma in their past or whatever it might be. But like that was the theme that I picked up. And so I think you're right. People project meanness. Sometimes they over project it and it comes across as mean because they have the insecurities that are based in some really deep rooted traumas that have happened to them. So I think confident people, I'm insecure about things all the time, but like, you know, obviously I come across charming as fuck.
You also charming as fuck. You also come across as somebody who likes drama.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I was like in a relationship for 17 years and there was zero drama. So I don't know if I was starved for drama. I don't really enjoy it. It gives me a lot of anxiety and stress. I don't enjoy it. But I find myself like wrapped into it. And I think it's whatever energies I'm putting out into the universe I need to correct because it's not fun. I don't enjoy the drama. I don't understand it, but you find yourself sucked into it and you're like, why do I keep doing this? You know, it's just so.
Yeah. Scott, you look allergic to drama.
No drama. Homer Simpson into the hedges. Like, nope, sorry, thanks, have fun with that. Now, I can listen to someone if they need someone to talk to. I can listen to that drama, but I'm not going to get involved in it. No thanks. No drama. And people that say like, oh, relationships are so hard. They don't have to be. No, now if you find someone that you're comfortable with, if you can spend 2 hours in a waiting room with this person and still be laughing at the end of it and enjoying each other's company, it doesn't have to be hard. If you can't spend 5 minutes together without someone pulling out their phone like, all right, you're boring, I'm just going to do the Wordle, then maybe that's not your relationship. So, and it doesn't have to be drama. These movies and TV shows where people are like throwing plates across the room and all this stuff, it might work for some people. I don't know. Various sex workers might, enjoy that kind of thing, but I don't like drama.
I've definitely known people that love that, and they're the kind that usually get hot and bothered after something like that. It's like, okay, yeah, you did that just for the end result, but I'm okay with stories, interesting life. Drama to me is story or incident without
now I see why
solution.
Matt is here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
stories.
a story.
Exactly. But yours has an end goal in terms of you've grown, you've experienced different things. But I would say that the drama of he said, she said, all of that. Like, I hate that.
To me, I had a lot to figure out. I had a lot to figure out about myself, and I was a very broken person. When any of this started, and like I would not trade any of it for the ridiculous parts of the story. Are so ridiculous. They could be a Netflix docuseries, but I would not trade any of them for anything because of what I've learned. And like you learn about yourself, you also learn what you want in a relationship. And you talk about like no drama, like what's that? Like what are the pillars of a healthy relationship? And I think at least for me, I've narrowed it down to like trust, acceptance, and intimacy, like emotional and physical intimacy. And I think you simplify things down to that. And I think if both people show up to the relationship and they contribute on those fronts, I think it is a no drama atmosphere. It doesn't need to be all this nonsense, So I don't really understand it either. Like people who just crave the drama and want that. I think that's just deep rooted and they haven't really worked on themselves. And so I look at all of these as opportunities, to learn about myself, to grow, to become better, because eventually I want to be like, somebody that I am looking for, be the perfect person for somebody else, So
you want to be dateable.
Yeah. I think I'm very dateable. I think I'm hard on myself, but like I think I'm a catch. Let's be honest.
Agree.
Catch.
So trust, emotional.
Trust, acceptance, which would be like no judgment, and intimacy, emotional and physical intimacy.
Okay. I think yours is probably either communication or friendship,
Being on the same team.
being on the same team.
Yeah, and that, like, we've got 2 teenagers, so we have to be on the same team a lot.
Girls,
because
boys.
I've made a mistake of telling my wife with a kid present that she's telling to do something. I'm like, oh, it's okay, let her. Not the same team. Now, we might get to where I'm right, but not in front of the kid. That's where you later
Unified front.
pull them aside and go, are you sure that, I mean, we were doing this? And they're like, all right, fine, whatever. And then you come back and go, all right, tell you what, you can do this, but here's the parameters. You know, so be on the same team, whether it's relationship, parenting, workplace,
I think it's
podcast, videos, you know, you got to be on the same team.
Absolutely. And it's all symbiotic. Cohesive,
right.
for sure.
Yeah.
I want to see Matt spell that.
Symbiotic.
Can't-
That is a
he
word
can't say psychology.
How would you describe a successful relationship? Symbiotic. It's sexy to be symbiotic in
Isn't that the
2025.
cub from the Lion King?
That's
Symbiotic.
Simba.
That's
It is
Simba.
Simba.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it's symbiotic.
And I probably
Symbiotic,
wouldn't use symbiotic. It's usually used in like a parasitic relationship.
Yeah.
Venom.
So
Yeah, it's exactly symbiote.
like
exactly.
you're a host.
By the way, I can't believe
That's all
that.
I am. I'm just a host for these horrible women.
There's probably a lot of accuracy in that statement.
Probably.
Are you
yes,
going to eat
yeah.
any more people? Most likely. I love those movies.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Well, we were talking about relationships and things that you look in relationships, and then confidence. But what about, you were talking about Silver Fox earlier. Aging.
You were talking about
I
Silver
was talking
Fox.
about Silver Fox.
You were talking about Richard Gere.
I was talking about Richard Gere. Gray early, still attractive, and trying to give you, a little bit of jolt of confidence in that you went gray
I'll
early.
be honest, like
so.
from here, from the angle, like when you're looking over there and this little, like if I just look at just this place, not when you do that, when you look at her, like I can kind of imagine that you look like Richard Gere.
Rickard?
Yeah.
Rickard Gere. He's the knockoff brand.
Okay. Look like Jack Lemmon. Yeah.
Not there yet.
Old.
Not yet. No. Richard Gere.
That's fine.
We'll stick with that.
I can't wait till I'm a grumpy old man. I've been there for
Wait
so
till
long.
you are?
Yeah.
What?
I don't complain about my gray hair for a couple of reasons. One, there was a while there where I was coloring it, but that's so high maintenance, especially if you have short hair.
It looks.
You have to color it all the
Yeah.
time, and then you're like, who am I trying to impress or fool? Who cares? And so I let it go for maintenance sake, high maintenance sake. Also, my bald friends say, oh yeah, complain more about your full head of
I was going to say,
hair.
you have a full head of hair.
I know, so I don't complain about
Who
my
cares
gray
what
hair.
color it is?
And it's the kids now, Gen Z. It's popular. It's become a trend to dye your hair silver. It's like a whole thing.
There's a
Like,
lot of
yeah.
things that have become popular now that I don't agree with, especially with male fashion as well. Do you know mullets are back?
Yeah.
Did they ever leave?
They should have left with the party in the back. I mean, yeah, mullets are back. Mustaches, the porn stash.
Yeah.
That's back. The long beard, which is a lot more high maintenance than people think it is. Dad bods are still around. I mean, that
I
kind of,
wouldn't know anything about that, Jess.
yeah, that's not a dad bod.
Is a dad bod
Wearing a
sexy or
girdle.
not? Because I think I've clicked on every article or social media
Yeah.
headline that's like dad bods are now sexy, and I'm like, really? Yes. And then I click
That
on it.
dad bod thing is the biggest load of crap. They would show a picture of Chris Pratt from Parks and Rec. That Chris Pratt.
Right.
It'd be like, oh, dad bods are in. No, people like Chris Pratt. He's attractive, he's rich, he's talented, he's funny. All right, so maybe he's not super hulked out. Then he got hulked out because it was easy for him because he's Chris Pratt. Meanwhile, guys who are like, oh, I got a dad bod. Yeah, but you're the assistant basketball coach on your son's freshman basketball team. No one's interested in that. The dad bod thing is crap. People like Chris Pratt.
I disagree 100%. I disagree.
You don't have a dad
Really?
bod. You had you were doughy, and
I
then you
was
got
doughy.
all hulked out. So tell me, oh, dad bods are fine.
But no,
Meanwhile,
that's-
you've been tearing your groin and doing one-arm push-ups against Don Bacon.
But I'm alone, Scott. I'm all alone.
You're not alone. You've got me, Matt.
That's true.
And me.
That's true. Yeah. So, but that is the truth. I will tell you this. I have learned this because I walked into it I lost 35 plus pounds in right before COVID, and I walked out into every rooftop pool. I was hanging out with 21-year-olds like a total douche, and
You were that
We were
guy.
all super.
Everybody
We were all
covers their
living-
drinks around you.
We
Yeah.
were so living vicariously. We were living vicariously through Matt. All the Facebook posts.
Oh, God, yeah. But no,
parties,
I
everything?
walked out and I thought, I got the full 6-pack. I'm tan. I'm like jacked. Like this is it. It's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
Women don't care about that. Like yes, it's attractive, but like that's not what moves the needle. A guy who's doughy, if he has confidence, will outpace any dude with a 6-pack.
I guarantee. We're not going home with that girl on a Friday night, though. He's going home on a Friday night. We're getting the phone call on maybe Saturday morning. He was such a jerk. Yeah, I know. I tried to tell you that last night. When you went home with him and not me.
The 6-pack and not the dad bod.
I think it's just
different.
Yeah,
though.
Friday night. That's where jacked guy,
but not
tan
all
guy lives.
dudes with 6-packs are at jackholes. Like it's just like most jackholes happen to have 6-packs. Like the two, it's the correlation versus causation, I believe.
Or they hide it very well, but yeah you're exactly right. I would say there's not a preference on one or the other. It's down to confidence for sure, and it's how you carry it for sure. I don't think we care as much, especially as we get older.
It's more emotion. It's more of an emotional connection, I think, with attraction to men. And I will say this: like it is a good feeling. It is a good feeling, like when it's like a scene from a movie almost, like And let's say a woman hasn't seen you with your shirt off yet, and you take off your shirt, and you see the oh wow, like that is a good feeling, like to impress somebody before you treat them like shit and you never talk to them again. But no, I'm kidding. I don't do that. But
I have to wear a suit.
Other than that, it doesn't.
A full suit.
I bought one
women
of those.
do care about that. We do like a suit. I will say
I'm a winter.
You're a winter. Have you?
He's a summer. I'm a winter.
Yeah.
I could actually see that. It is kind of two sides of the same coin.
Together we're the unscrewables.
2 coins in a fountain.
I don't believe that, but that is a great name for a team.
He's gonna sing and do the splits and tear his little Frank Sinatra.
I can't even come back from that one. That's great. And we got the mired in helicopter of Wrap It Up. So
I don't know why this is gold.